Who are you?
Whoever you want me to be.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
It's feeling epic.
3 words. 8 letters.
I remember everything.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Previously on Teen TV. I'm Jillian Bonani.
And I'm Claire Wojciechowski.
And we have another very special episode for you today, Previously Honors. I'm really trying to make that name happen.
know, you're consistent with it.
You know what I was thinking? It's kind of like honor roll.
Maybe
our
okay,
audience can be called
I
the
see.
honor roll.
Oh, that's fun. I like
get
that.
it?
Nice. Yes.
All right, we'll see. So we are going to do our Mount Rushmore of teen drama characters. So this is the top of the top characters. We're talking best of the best, the must-haves to represent the teen drama genre, our favorite genre, of course.
Yeah.
So on the Mount Rushmore, we're going to have a spot for the hero, the ambitious queen, the rebel, and the loyal friend.
Yes. We have seen these archetypes throughout teen dramas since the beginning. Even before that, in teen literature, in movies, etc. You know them, you love them. They are easily identifiable when you are watching a show, and it helps you sort of understand, like, oh, I get it. She's like the ambitious queen bee. She's the nice sidekick friend who's always reliable. So we love these characters, and we're going to talk more about them today.
Yeah, and these are some of like our favorite, and I would say like most essential archetypes of characters that are found on these shows.
Yeah.
Like you need these in your formula.
Absolutely. I think, without one of these components, it just doesn't quite work. It doesn't have that magic that makes it, a great teen drama.
So how this is going to work is we are going to nominate 2 characters each for each category. Then we will be choosing 1 character from each of these categories to make up our Mount Rushmore. So if you're confused, don't you worry.
Yeah.
It will be fine.
Yes.
Okay. This is just how me and Claire talk about teen TV. It's silly. It's fun.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the ride. Are you
Let's do
ready?
it.
Are you ready to build our Mount Rushmore?
Let's do it.
George Washington would be proud.
Yeah.
Is he even on Mount Rushmore?
He is.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
It's him, Lincoln, Jefferson, and
Roosevelt?
yes.
FDR?
Yes. Or is it Teddy?
Is it Teddy?
It might be Teddy.
Not FDR?
Producer Jesse, fact check us. Make sure I'm right with the other ones.
Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
So Claire gets to go first because she got Teddy Roosevelt over
gosh.
FDR. Justice for FDR, though.
Honestly, I mean, history does not look kindly on that particular choice.
So rude.
Or the building of Mount Rushmore in general. Not great, but
All right, enough about Mount Rushmore. We're
talking
building our
about teen
own.
characters now. Okay, so for our hero/heroine, this time with an E category.
So this is like the character that, kind of comes in and always like saves the day.
Yes. Our lead character usually,
Yeah.
the person that we are always rooting for. And I think there is no one that fits this description more so than Ryan Atwood from the OC.
Yes, definitely. That is a good one.
He is our main character. He is the person that we are following. So he has the audience on his side because he's the outsider in this new world. But he also is quite literally saving people left and right. He saved Seth from a fight with Luke and all the water polo boys. He's saving Marissa when she's drunk and passed out multiple times.
Time and time again, he's saving Marissa.
He's showing up for Marissa here and there, showing up for Lindsay when they're briefly dating. And at one point, Sandy Cohen even has to say, like, listen, kid, like, you don't have to be the adult all the time. Like, you can just be a kid.
He is definitely somebody who is always coming in and saving everyone, like, not just Marissa. I mean, even when he's, like, trying to get Kirsten, like, to go to rehab, like, I feel like that was kind of a little bit of a hero moment, too. I mean, he fully saves Marissa from Oliver.
Yes,
I mean, big moment there. He really was the hero of the Oliver situation.
Yeah.
And all of our heroes watching at home in that situation.
We all need to be saved from Oliver, so thanks for that.
I mean, you're right. Ryan Atwood is like the hero of all heroes, I think, ultimately. But I see you, Ryan Atwood, and I raise you a Lucas Scott.
Okay.
From One Tree Hill. So Lucas was, the original hero of the show. Like when we first see One Tree Hill, he kind of is that archetype. And I feel like he does have a lot of big hero moments in the show. I mean, he saves Peyton during the school shooting. He jumps in after Nathan jumps in to try and save Rachel and Cooper when the limo goes off the bridge. So that was another big moment. But I feel like Lucas Scott is a little bit more of a hero in like the smaller moments.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the moments that really like stick out to me is like when he submitted Peyton's artwork to Thud and just like was somebody who really always believed in her.
Yeah.
And told her like your art matters.
I
Like,
literally was just thinking that. Like,
what a hero line.
Right.
If I've ever seen one. And then even just like writing in his book that, Brooke Davis is going to change the world one day.
Yeah.
I think it's like those little moments that's like when Lucas, I would say, is at his best. And like just so many scenes with Haley too. I feel like he's kind of really being like a heroic like type of figure to her. When Nathan has the wheelchair accident, he really like steps up and helps with Jamie. So I feel like Lucas, look, does he fall short a lot in One Tree Hill? Yes, 100%. But I think he's somebody who always like really shows up for the people that he cares about and like shows them that he cares.
Yeah, and I think he's helping Keith. He is there's a reason that Jamie is named after him. His name is James Lucas Scott because he is so important in Nathan and Haley's lives and in Jamie's life eventually. And when Nathan is kidnapped by the Eastern European mafia,
Oh wow, I forgot about this one.
Haley sends her kids off to live temporarily with Lucas and Peyton while she's trying to rescue her husband.
Yeah.
He's there for them. He's always supportive. And even if I think he's maybe not the best boyfriend, he as a friend and as like just a human, he's a good guy and he always wants to be there for the people that he loves.
Yeah, he really does show up for the people that he loves a lot. So I nominate Lucas Eugene Scott.
Wow. Nice. Pulling out the middle name. Okay.
I know. We love it.
All right. So for my next person, I'm going to go with an actual hero, someone who literally, I mean, some of these characters have saved the day, but someone who saves the day and the world on a weekly basis.
I love it.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with Buffy Summers.
I love it. That's fair. She is a hero.
Yes, she is saving her friends' lives, saving the lives of her fellow students, strangers. Again, the world entire, like there are apocalypses, apocalypti. I don't know the plural of that, but there are many. And they happen quite frequently on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she is always there, always showing up, literally fighting, sometimes giving her life to save the world and the people that she cares about. So yeah, Buffy forever.
Yeah, Buffy's a badass hero, 100%. And I love, adding a female to this list as well. Like they're heroes too.
Absolutely.
In these shows.
We love a strong woman, a strong female character.
We do. Buffy's a good one. And she literally does save the world. So.
Yeah, quite often, yeah.
So for my next hero, I got to bring up the guy with the hero hair.
Gotta do it.
Stefan Salvatore. Stefan was always somebody who was trying to protect everyone, save everyone. I mean, literally in the finale, in his most heroic act of all, he sacrifices himself to save all of Mystic Falls. So I guess, it doesn't get more heroic than that. I'm still mad about that. But
sure,
we
same.
can't say it wasn't heroic.
Agreed.
Okay? I think, though, too, like, in a similar way, like to Lucas Scott, like Stefan kind of has some of these like smaller hero moments too of just kind of like taking care of the people that he loves. And like, I do love when, Caroline first becomes a vampire and he like really steps up in that situation and helps her. And I do feel like he literally like saves her life. Like there's talk of like, are we going to have to like kill Caroline?
Right. Because she's out of control when she first turns. And
yeah. And then like Stefan is the one who really like teaches her how to be a vampire. And it's just there for her in a way that like he didn't need to be as, just his girlfriend's friend.
Right.
And I just like thought that was such a sweet moment. And again, sometimes it's the little hero moments, you know, Claire.
I agree. No, I love Stefan.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice that we have a tortured hero represented on this Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think a lot of his desire to protect people, to save people, a lot of his self-sacrificing comes from the guilt that he carries.
Yeah.
For, getting him and Damon turned into vampires in the first place, and all the lives that he's taken. So his is maybe motivated in a little bit from self-loathing.
Yeah.
But it does, as long as he's doing the saving, we'll take it. He's a good guy in the end.
Yeah, time and time again, he's doing that saving. I mean, how many times do we think he saved Elena?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, every episode
practically
in season 1.
I know.
We love it. We love it.
We do. We love you, Stefan.
And best hair. If we were doing a Mount Rushmore pair, which maybe we should do one day.
I was going to say.
He would be on it.
Yeah. Add it to the list. All right. Do you want to kick us off for our next category?
I would love to. So our next category is Ambitious Queens, which is actually my favorite category.
We love a diva.
Of this. Yeah. So we are talking those tryhards, those ambitious women, those divas. They're not boring.
No, they keep us on our toes as we're watching, and everyone around them.
That's good.
Yeah.
So my first ambitious queen, I'm gonna go with what I think is the most ambitious queen of them all. I'm talking Rachel Berry from Glee.
Okay.
A bit of a polarizing character, I would say. But what I do like about her is I think it just goes into a little bit about what we were saying. Like, Rachel is not boring.
No.
And I think that a lot of main characters at this time, were boring, especially the female characters.
Yeah, we want to keep them nice. And that's not interesting.
And then Rachel Berry comes out, and this girl is just ambitious without being apologetic. And I love that about her. Like, she is just such a complex character. But I think, like, what I always really liked about her is her ambition. She wanted to be a star, and she was loud about it. Mm-hmm. And I just think that, like, I just thought that was so refreshing at the time of, like, this girl being, like, loud about what she wants, doesn't care what other people think, because it's just, like, kind of rare, honestly.
Yeah, and she knows that she is capable of it. She knows that it's going to take work, and she is willing to work and to scheme to get what she wants. I love Rachel. She is, she does some despicable things, but, like, she's motivated by her own belief in herself.
Yeah.
And, I
isn't
applaud
that a great thing?
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, I love, too, she's just unapologetic about it.
Yes.
Like, she is one of the best singers in the Glee Club, and she knows it. And she's like, why aren't I getting all the solos?
Fair enough, babe.
Fair question with a voice like that, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, ambitious queen for sure.
All right. I'm going to take us back to the Vampire Diaries universe, and I'm going to go with another ambitious queen, and that is Caroline Forbes.
Definitely one of my favorites. I love her.
I love it because that is something about Caroline that we see, particularly when she's a human, but she stays that way as a vampire. She grows and she evolves, but she stays ambitious. She wants to be Miss Mystic Falls. She wants to be, queen bee, top of the pyramid, metaphorically. She wants a boyfriend. She wants to have all of this, like, sort of specialness. She wants to be special, and she wants to feel special. And she is, trying to date the cutest guy and trying to, be the center of attention. And even when she becomes a vampire, I think, she realizes that there are more important things about it, but she still wants to be the best. She wants to do her best. And be the best friend to people and show up in the best way. And, it leads to her, running a damn school for supernatural children because she wants to, and that's a hell of ambitious, I think, to run a school. But, I love Caroline.
Well, what I like about that, too, is it's like, you're right. She was always, I think, trying to, like, search to be the best at something, like the best friend or the best student or the best, Miss Mystic Falls. Mm-hmm. But I feel like what she never knew, and we didn't even see coming, was that she was going to be the best vampire.
She is. She's the best vampire.
So it's like she did it, and just like, who knew that is what it was going to be? But, like, she was at the end of the day, I think, or at least one of the best. The
best character, I think, on the show.
Oh, definitely, for sure. But yeah, Caroline's a good one. She's funny too.
She
All of
is.
these girls are funny.
Yeah. She sees the humor. She's like no nonsense girly. Like
Yeah.
she fights hard and she calls it like it is. And yeah, I love her for that.
All right, for my next ambitious queen, I gotta go with one of the faves, Brooke Davis.
Of course.
From One Tree Hill. A character who didn't start out the show being ambitious.
No.
So this is a unique one. But she ended up being probably the most ambitious character on the show, I think, at the end of the day. I mean, we see this like character arc start when she runs for school president, which is one of my favorite storylines on the show. It's where we really start to get, under the layers of Brooke Davis.
Yeah.
And we see her really like strive for that, like as something I think that maybe she didn't even realize that she wanted. And then we see her really like work hard at it and try and do a good job as the president and take it seriously.
Yeah.
And then we see her become very ambitious with her clothing line, Clothes Over Bros. And then that just becomes her arc really like throughout the entire series. Her, building this company and just a character too who's always going after what she wants. Like whether it be the clothing company or whether it be like finding love or
being a mother.
Yeah, being a mother. Like she's always putting herself out there.
Yeah. And she always has like a new dream to reach for.
Yeah.
Like she starts the company and then it expands into like, doesn't it, like it's like a magazine and it's a brick and mortar store and it's, Baker Man and there's like
empire.
Baby Brooke. Like she just keeps on leveling up and expanding her brand. And I think too, even starts like maybe when she's running for like student council, when she's captain of the cheerleading squad and they're at that competition and she's like, I will win. She is determined to win this competition, which like it's not going to help her on like her college applications. She's just like, she wants it. She wants to be the best.
That is what's interesting about the character too. She's never like doing this stuff as like, I want this for my college applications or my future. And I think a lot of these other characters are like that. But with Brooke Davis, it's just like, I want it for me.
Yeah. All of her motivation is completely internal.
Yeah.
Which is so cool to see. And like you said, the growth of her over the series is really impressive.
I'm glad you brought up the cheerleading stuff because I did forget about that. And it is some of my like favorite Brooke Davis moments because they're so funny too.
When they're trying to like re-choreograph the dance. It's great.
Yeah, they really bring out her comedic side.
Yeah. All right. So for our final ambitious queen, I mean,
who are you going with? There's one big one left. You gotta do it.
I gotta go with Queen Bee.
Yes.
We're talking Blair Waldorf on Gossip Girl. We meet her, and this is her personality. We know from the jump she wants to be on top of the Met steps, on top of the social ladder at Constance. She wants to graduate at the top of her class. She wants to, run a company, run an empire. She is determined to be successful. It is so much a core of her identity. She wants the best boyfriend. She wants the best everything. And she will do whatever she has to do to get there. And it is...
Boy, does she.
Yeah, it's dramatic and it is messy and she does some terrible stuff, but she's always interesting to watch because you're like, what is Blair going to do next?
Well, and you're always rooting for her.
Yeah.
Like, even though she is like messy and does some like terrible things at times, like I'm still rooting for her. I want her to succeed. I think too, what's like interesting about Blair with that is like, for somebody so privileged and to really have like a lot handed to them, it was nice to see her like so ambitious.
Yes.
Like at the end of the day, did she really need to like work that hard to like try and get into Yale? And like, I know that doesn't work out, but like that's a lot of the beginning of the show. It's like we see her like trying to be the best of the best at school to get into the Ivy that she wants.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to work that hard to earn it, and she does.
Or like, and she wants to go in the fashion industry, and like her mom is in it, but like we still see her like intern and like striving to get there. Like when she figures out what she wants to do, and I think that that's something that's just interesting about the character and a little bit of why we root for her too.
Oh yeah, and we see that too, the flash forward in the finale when she's like, on the headset running Dan and Serena's wedding, and Chuck's like, Blair did this whole thing. Like you can see that like she is still ambitious, still in charge, still running the show.
I love her.
Yeah.
Can she plan my wedding?
Oh my God, it'd be stunning.
I know. Yeah. That would be fun.
All right. So we are moving on from our ambitious queens, and we are talking about rebels, the outsiders, the ones who don't quite fit in.
I mean, one of my favorite archetypes, because we got some of the bad boys in here.
Yeah. The bad boys that, are lovable deep down inside.
We love that.
Yeah.
The tortured, the better.
Yeah. Our tortured poets really fall into this category, I think, if you want to make a Taylor Swift reference out of it.
And we're always trying to make a Taylor Swift reference
Always.
out of it, Claire.
All right. So I am going to kick us off, I think, with the original rebel, the original tortured poet. I'm talking about Dylan McKay on Beverly Hills 90210.
I mean, he is the original rebel.
Yeah, he was just, mysterious, rich kid, too cool for school, would ditch class to go surfing at the beach, had a big alcohol problem in high school, which is quite rebellious. He takes Brenda's virginity at the school dance. It's like so shocking. And
they threw every rebel type of storyline at Dylan McKay.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that they could think of.
Anything that was shocking in the 90s, Dylan McKay was doing it. He had
drugs, virginity.
Yeah. At one point, in the college years, he's addicted to, I think, heroin maybe, and is hustling guys at pool to get drug money. It gets really dark, but he's just sort of he's not about the man. I feel like he reads Bukowski and Jack Kerouac and is just I'm doing my own thing, man. So yeah, Dylan McKay forever.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's it. He is the rebel. Just his hair, the way he
Yes.
looks. I just feel like that was imitated for years to come after that. And the character that I'm going to talk about, I feel was definitely influenced by Dylan McKay.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Jess Mariano from Gilmore Girls.
So good.
I feel like he really came in to be the resident bad boy of Stars Hollow. As soon as he gets there, everyone immediately hates him.
Yes. For just showing up and being an outsider.
Yeah, he really comes in as the outsider, and the townspeople are what? A leather jacket? We can't handle that.
Well, it's a different leather jacket from Dean's leather jacket. So it's,
Yeah, it's not brown, it's black.
Exactly. It's too much.
But yeah, we kind of see him be a little bit of a bad boy, especially in the beginning. He's playing his pranks. He's stealing a little bit, but he's just somebody who throughout the series, and I'm not referring to A Year in the Life,
No.
okay? Throughout the series, he never really conforms to Stars Hollow standards.
Right. And I think we get that too when we find out senior year he's ditching school to work at Walmart and make money because he's I'm too smart for this. I already know, which is, not the best thing, but you understand that he's over it. He doesn't like the town. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't fit in. No one's really given him a chance either. He shows up and they're immediately who's this kid?
I know. It's kind of sad,
Yeah.
actually, because he is a rebel for a reason.
Yeah.
He has daddy issues. We know the backstory.
Right.
It's not it's just for nothing.
Right.
So it is kind of weird that these adults aren't being a little more sympathetic to him.
And it's also he's seen as a rebel because he doesn't buy into the Stars Hollow cutesy stuff.
I know. Is Jess the normal one?
Well, it's he's similar to Luke in that way where Luke doesn't
Yeah.
buy into it either, but he sort of begrudgingly goes along with it because he grew up with it, whereas Jess comes into this world and is just what are we doing?
Right.
He's just a little bit more real than the rest of them, and I think they're just we don't trust that.
Well, and I do like that he's a little bit of, I feel kind of a new age rebel in the sense of where he more kind of kept to himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't he influenced all these teen boys to join his gang or you know what I mean? He didn't have these flock of boys
Yeah.
following him around. He
Yeah.
literally just wanted everyone to leave him alone and he wanted to read.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm scared.
That's why I get it. Him and Rory bond because they just want to sit alone and read by themselves. And same, honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes that sounds lovely. So
Yeah. So I feel too, I love though, Jess is very sarcastic, which really plays in the rebel thing. He wears that leather jacket. We see him smoke occasionally.
big sign of a rebel.
We got some good rebel tropes with Jess Mariano, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I just love it when you see that guy coming to town and you're uh-oh, we got a rebel on our hands. Without a cause.
Yeah. All right. I love Jess, but I'm going to take us over to a lady rebel.
Oh, fun.
A female rebel.
We
more
love
of a,
that.
More of an outsider, if you will, but I'm talking about Jen Lindley of Dawson's Creek.
Love that. She's a rebel for sure.
Yeah. So again, comes into a small town, new girl from the big city, and they're obsessed with Jen. Is she a virgin? Like, is she, why did she
so
move?
bizarre.
Why did she have to move? Again, got in trouble with
Yeah.
and got sent to live with her grandmother in this small town to keep her out of trouble. And it's very much like she's trying to put that behind her. She's trying to be a good person and to turn over a new leaf and is trying to be friendly. And Joey especially is just not having it. She's just like, nope, you're into Dawson. Dawson's into you. You're a threat to me. And we see this sort of throughout the series that Jen doesn't ever feel like she sort of fits in with the group, even though she's one of the main cast members from the beginning. In the finale of the series, she says to Jack, who is like her best friend, I feel like I never fit in. I was the girl who caused trouble and rocked the creek. And she still has that feeling even years later, which is, kind of a testament to how even though she did have friendships with these people, it was never like that close bond that she had with Jack. She was always just a little bit, they didn't quite know what to make of her.
I know. I always thought that was really interesting, where it did always feel like Jen was a little bit more of like an outsider, when we never really see her partying days. Like,
No.
it's all just like hearsay and like what is talked about. I mean, I know she like did party
Right.
in New York City and stuff like that, but when she gets to the creek, she's very like normal, like just wanting to like
Yeah.
fit in with Dawson and Joey and them, and just wanting to be accepted. And I know then like she kind of has her ups and downs like throughout the series with that. But it is kind of crazy that they always view her so differently with it.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I know. It's a bummer. And she tries to date like really nice, sweet, wholesome guys who are just, they're not right for her. But
Yeah.
she's trying very much to shed that sort of reputation that she acquired before she even came to Cape Side.
I know.
And she, they won't let her shake it.
They just always view her as a rebel.
yeah. So
Without a cause.
I know. She wasn't even rebelling against anything.
You know what I would love? The Jen Lindley like origin story.
Oh,
like
yeah.
show me Jen Lindley living in New York City, rebelling, getting up to trouble, getting kicked out of her parents.
Yes.
Like everything that happens before the creek. That's what I want to see.
I would love it. Just like a quick 8-episode limited series.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Of
Get
the-
on that, Kevin Williamson.
Yes, the 1 year of her partying,
Yeah, that 1 year. Like, it couldn't have been that many years.
No,
you know?
because she comes and she's like 14 or 15 when she moves to Cape Side. Isn't her daughter that age by now? Can we get Matilda to star in to play her mom?
Good. All
Yeah.
right, we should do this.
Yeah. All right.
We're thinking over here. We got some ideas. Okay, so for my next rebel, I'm also gonna go with a lady rebel.
Oh, we love it.
I'm gonna go with Veronica Mars.
Ooh, an interesting choice, a different definition.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't maybe think of her as a rebel off the bat, but I would say a rebel is somebody who does not conform to approved standards of behavior.
Nice.
Like similar to what we were saying with Jess Mariano, where it's just like he just didn't conform to, what Stars Hollow is and what they wanted of him. And I feel like Veronica Mars is like a similar example of that. Like she's somebody in the beginning who's just like ostracized by the town. She used to be in the in crowd and gets kind of like kicked out of that crowd, and it's just rebelling against all these rich kids and what they stand for. And it's just somebody who opened her eyes and realizes like, I don't believe what they believe and this isn't right, and she just wants to stand up for something. So I feel like she rebels like for the right reasons, and a lot of it is like she wants to avenge her friend's murder and like find out what happened.
Yeah.
And she's just somebody who's like constantly breaking the rules and just kind of, doing what really she's not supposed to be doing in the town, but it's for the greater good.
Yeah, she's a rebel with a cause, it seems like.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think in this case, like a rebel is also someone who just plays by their own rules. And it seems like, she's someone who is just forging her own path and rebelling against, not in the traditional sense, but, like you said, the town and the people around her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's choosing her own way.
She beats to her own drum.
Yes, there we go. Perfect.
What is the saying?
She marches
I
to the
know.
beat of her own
She
drum.
marches to the beat of her own drum. After I said that, I was like, I don't think that was right, but no one said anything. Oh, God. Veronica Mars is just doing whatever the fuck she wants in Neptune, okay? That's what it is.
Yeah. That's what we meant.
Oh, God.
Okay.
That's a fun one. We're having fun over here today as we're building our Mount Rushmore.
Do you want to kick us off for the final category, the loyal friend?
Yes. So our final category is loyal friend, which we all know these characters. It is usually the friend of maybe the main character, just somebody who's always there for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick us off with maybe the loyalist of all the loyal friends. I got to go with Bonnie Bennett from Vampire Diaries.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bonnie is literally always there for everyone on the show. Like every character, not just Elena. Like even if she hates you, she is there for you. Like she hated Damon for many seasons and still showed up for him. She was always somebody to come in and save the day, even if it, hurt her or
Killed her in some time.
literally killed her. Yes. She does sacrifice herself like time and time again on this show. And I would say she was quite a loyal friend when she still went to Caroline's wedding when the guy that Caroline's marrying, Stefan, literally killed the man that Bonnie loves the day before.
I know.
I mean, that's a loyal friend. Like, drop the mic. Like, it doesn't get loyaler than that.
No, I mean, I feel Bonnie is like she loses the most. She has to give up the most. And there's a lot of death and stuff, but like Bonnie is always the one who's making the big sacrifice. She's always risking her life, risking the lives of people that she cares about, compromising her morals and what she believes is right and, jeopardizing her magic and all these things. And she just is, but she still shows up. Like you said, she still shows up for her best friend, even though, like you said, Stefan killed Enzo. And it's like she was so close to having happiness with Enzo after all of these traumas and ripped away. And then at the end, she stands up against the devil and saves them again. She's always the one who comes through and saves the day in the end and gets nothing in return.
Yeah, literally nothing.
No.
I mean, the girl did not win on that show, and it's very upsetting. Yeah. So that's why we got to label her as a loyal friend, at least on this podcast.
Poor Bonnie.
We're here for you, Bonnie Bennett. We're here for you.
All right. Okay, so I am going to take us now to a loyal friend who started off very much as a friend, as a secondary character, not a main cast member, but, works her way up, becomes a main part of the core, and eventually maybe the female lead, and that is Summer Roberts from the OC. Not billed with the main cast in the pilot, was a recurring character.
She only had a couple lines in the pilot.
Right.
Yeah.
Chino, ew.
I mean, iconic lines.
Iconic, yeah. And, she made an impression, but she is a loyal friend to Marissa. She is always supporting her, even when, Marissa sort of falls out with the other popular girls because of the whole Luke and Holly situation. Summer is still there for her. Summer is still her best friend. She is supporting her, building her up through all of her many crises, and is still, calling her out too when she's like, you're not handling this the best, and proves herself to be eventually a good friend to Taylor as well when Taylor comes into the mix. Just Summer Roberts.
I know. I do love Summer Roberts as a friend, and I think she is like one of the best examples of a good friend in these shows. I feel like even when Marissa and Summer are fighting in season 3, which is really like one of the only times we see them fight, and it is just because Marissa's like going off the deep end a little bit. Fair. But we still see like Summer be there for Marissa and like care about her and worry about her, like even if it is more from afar. And I just always like appreciated that about the character. I feel like you could just see it where she really, really cared about Marissa and was worried about her and just always wanted what was best for her. And I always loved that their friendship wasn't very competitive either. Yeah. And I feel like it really could have been. And it never went that way with them. I feel like they were always just more happy for each other instead of being at odds with each other.
Agreed. I also think that she shows a lot of maturity when in season 2 she and Seth have broken up. And she's like, I'm over you. We're going to be friends. And she treats him cordially. Eventually they get past it, and she's, they've come to a place where she's like comfortable to be around him and is still sort of supportive of him and his family drama, even though like there's a history there between them. I love Summer.
She's supportive of like the people that are around her, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. All right, for my next loyal friend, I'm zagging a little bit here, Claire.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm prepared.
I'm gonna go with Nate Archibald from Gossip Girl.
Okay.
I know.
I like it.
It's an interesting choice. But you know why this guy's a loyal friend?
Tell me.
He never sent a tip into Gossip Girl. Like, it doesn't get more loyal than that.
There it is. That's it.
Honestly, I mean, we see these people, all of them, sending in tips, going against each other, saying terrible things about each other. And I just feel like Nate was always, not always going to go there.
Yeah, he's not a gossip.
Yeah, exactly. He's not.
And he is somebody that, like, he's there for Chuck, even when Chuck is being an asshole. A basshole. He is
a basshole.
They say that on the show.
Oh my God.
I can't take credit for that. But he's always supportive of Chuck, trying to be his friend and trying to get him to not be such a jerk.
Yeah.
And then he befriends Dan when Dan doesn't have any friends at the school, and is, supportive of him too. He's trying to be kind to everyone. He's trying to help Serena, even though he's in love with her. But like, he's just, like you said, he's a deep down, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he wants to help the people in his life.
Yeah. I feel like he's there for everyone in the show, no matter what. And I feel like he does like turn up for people time and time again, and was kind of the one maybe who was, if two people were like arguing, he was trying to like bring them together a little bit more. Yeah. I feel like he had individual relationships more so with Chuck and Dan, and would like try and bring them together a little bit. Like, I feel like if we saw like Gossip Girl, years ahead, like I know they like, did their little like flash forward at the end of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like we would see like Nate being the one to like bring everybody together for like a group gathering or something.
Yeah, he's the one who's like initiating like the let's all hang out, let's take a trip, let's do this.
Let's go to Grandfather's.
Yeah. Let's hop on the Spectator's private plane to parts unknown,
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're also saying that Nate is a, loyal, good friend. Maybe partly because they like reduced him to like a friend of role in the series towards the end.
He didn't get a lot of like good storyline for himself. He was always just like around other people.
Which is a tragedy.
Honestly.
A tragedy, but at least they made him a good friend.
Yeah.
I would also just want to say that in this case, I would enjoy friends with benefits situation with Nate. So
you personally?
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
I just need him to be a loyal friend in that way, maybe.
Loyal to the hookups?
Loyal to me, Claire.
Loyal to you, but with benefits. Okay. I don't disagree. I just wanted to get clarity on what we were talking about.
Didn't know I needed to explain it.
Okay, well, on that note, for our final loyal friend,
who are you gonna go with?
Lane Kim on Gilmore Girls.
Oh, sweet Lane.
Sweet Lane. I think Lane doesn't quite get as shafted as Bonnie, but she does kind of get, she kind of gets forgotten. She becomes a bit of an afterthought, and that's not really fair.
I know. I hate that. I wanted the best for her.
I know, and she's Rory's best friend from childhood. Rory leaves to go to this private school, abandons Lane at Stars Hollow High, which, that's fine. She's trying to, get a good education. And, she stays friends with Rory. She is supportive of her. Even like you said, you picked her for the best friend draft, because even though they go on different paths, Lane is always there. She's always in Rory's corner, always trying to help her. Even when Rory does some things that are questionable, Lane is still backing her up, and she's there for her mom. She's there for the whole family. Lane, I think, is she doesn't get quite the happy ending that we want for her.
I know. It still bothers me.
I think maybe our loyal friends are like all these great people who get sad endings.
I know. And we're like, well, at least you were a loyal friend. Yeah. You have that going for you.
That's your consolation prize.
I feel like, too, with Lane, in a lot of the scenes with Rory, more so in the later seasons, like in the college years, like we see Lane literally drop everything when Rory like comes in with her drama.
Yeah.
and is like piling it all on Lane of like, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, like I'm not talking to my mom, and Lane's like pregnant, dropping everything, like being there for Rory. Like she really was a good friend to her over the years when she had a lot going on herself.
Yeah. I think Lane is probably a better friend to Rory than Rory is to her.
Yeah.
And I think, Rory, we see her show up for Lane for her wedding and all of this stuff. But I think at the end of the day, Rory might be like, oh, I'm busy. Sorry. And, Lane's busy too. Lane's got a husband and twins and a job, but, and the band. But
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
She has
lot.
a lot going on. I mean, we're not putting Rory on this list, so.
Fair enough. We are not.
Lane it is.
Yeah.
All right. We have nominated our 4 characters for Loyal Friend, and that is the final of the category. So now we have to go in to each category, pick our favorite to make up our Mount Rushmore of teen characters. So should we start back up with the heroes? Who is the number 1 hero? We have Lucas Scott, Ryan Atwood, Stefan Salvatore, and Buffy Summers.
This is a hard one.
What's your gut telling you, Claire?
So I think we have to eliminate Stefan because he does do some terrible things. He murders people. And,
that's a solid point. Yeah.
So,
okay.
So I think
Fair.
he's a great hero for that, but overall not the top hero.
Agreed. I that's a good point. We can do this by process of elimination.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I might want to eliminate Lucas Scott too.
I was gonna say
I just
that.
don't think he's like the heroiest. Is that a word?
The most heroic?
Yeah, I don't think he's the most heroic out of all these. And I love Lucas, but I think too, as they started to make Nathan a little bit more of a hero of the show, Lucas wasn't as much the hero.
Yeah, he starts to pale in
sadly.
comparison.
Yeah. So goodbye, Lucas.
Yeah.
Sashay away. So that leaves us with Ryan Atwood and Buffy Summers.
Yeah. Both of these are my picks, and I am feeling really torn here because, again, Buffy saves the world over and over again. She saves the world a lot, as is written on her tombstone. But Ryan has that, like, rush into a burning building, like the kind of like the classic romantic hero vibe where he's brooding and quiet, but he'll like punch someone or like literally carry you out of an alleyway when you're ODing. So, what are you looking for in your hero?
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So.
I think if we're talking about like teen dramas, representative of teen dramas, Ryan Atwood fits that teen hero bill more so than Buffy.
I would agree. I think we got to go with Ryan Atwood.
Okay, great.
All right. Ryan Atwood on the Mount Rushmore. Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I know. All right.
Good for you, Ryan.
Look how far you've come.
I know. All right. So now we have our ambitious queens. So we have Rachel Berry, Caroline Forbes, Brooke Davis, and Blair Waldorf. My gut, I'm just going to go and say it.
Sure.
Blair Waldorf.
I think we have to.
I just think she is the ambitious queen.
She is the queen bee. I agree with you.
She's just ambitious in all areas of life.
Right.
And starts off the show that way.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't really change that much in that way.
Right.
Like she changes in other ways, like for the better, I would say. But that ambition is always there, always number 1.
I think it's maybe her defining characteristic. And I think when that you can't say the same of the other 3, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
So I think, for that reason, it's got to be Blair Waldorf.
I agree. I mean, Rachel Berry loses it in the New York years, so we can give it to her. She becomes like cool. It's weird. So we're locking in Blair Waldorf for our ambitious queen.
Okay.
She would be very pleased with that.
She would be.
Go us. All right. Do you want to do the next category, our rebels,
So
Claire?
we are looking at our rebels. We've got Jess Mariano, Jen Lindley, Veronica Mars, and Dylan McKay.
What's your gut saying?
I mean, with my apologies to the girlies, I think Jen and Veronica are out.
Yeah,
They're just not quite rebellious enough.
Yeah.
So I think it's between the OG rebel Dylan McKay and then Jess Mariano, who is sort of our poster boy for like the newer teen rebels.
This is a really hard one because, like, I get it. Like, Dylan McKay was first.
Oh, okay.
But, like, I do love Jess.
I mean, I think that,
My
like...
tortured poet.
I agree. And I think that, like, Dylan was more overall of a bad boy than a rebel.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't always so much, like, defying convention. He was more so, like, had his own trauma that was spilling out onto other people, whereas Jess was like often deliberately defying people's expectations. So I'm comfortable choosing Jess Mariano.
I'm excited.
I knew you would
be.
be.
No, I know. R.I.P. Luke Perry.
Yes.
I do love myself some Dylan McKay. But I just do think like Jess Mariano is like the definition of like a rebel character who just like comes into town. And maybe that's why too, because he doesn't start out the show.
I can see that, yeah.
So I just feel like they're like, we need that rebel guy. Jess Mariano it is.
All right.
That was a tough one, I will say.
Yeah. Okay. For our final spot on Mount Rushmore, we are talking about the loyal friend. Will it be Bonnie Bennett, Summer Roberts, Nate Archibald, or Lane Kim?
Well, I think we can eliminate Nate Archibald and Lane Kim.
I think so too.
Yeah. So then it's between Bonnie Bennett and Summer Roberts. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think I got to go with Bonnie Bennett, though.
I think so too.
I mean, she really is such a loyal friend the whole time. And she remains a friend. Like, she doesn't really, like, she is a main character on the Vampire Diaries, but, like, she doesn't really move up there. Like, Summer becomes, like, the main character of
Right.
the OC. Bonnie never becomes the main character of the Vampire Diaries. It's more Caroline.
It's Caroline, yeah.
When Elena leaves.
I agree.
So I think we got to go with good old Bonnie, the most loyal of them all. Saving all those friends who don't even deserve it.
No, I agree with you. It's Bonnie Bennett.
All right. So our Mount Rushmore of teen drama characters is, drumroll please, everybody, Ryan Atwood from the OC, Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl, Jess Mariano from Gilmore Girls, and Bonnie Bennett from the Vampire Diaries. Wow, I feel like that is a good Mount Rushmore.
I'm really proud of us.
I know. All different shows.
Yes. Balance between men and women.
Love it. And just like a good mix, I feel like.
Yeah.
Let's get all four of them on a show. That would be a great show.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I would love to see that.
I have a question. Before
Yes,
we
please.
Wrap up.
Okay.
fun.
This is silly, but
Sure.
so from the presidents that are on the Mount Rushmore,
Are you going to be able to get out this question?
who would be the hero, the ambitious queen,
Teddy's the ambitious queen.
Is
the rebel, Lincoln, right?
Oh, yeah.
Lincoln's the rebel.
Who's the loyal friend?
Washington?
I would say he's the hero, I feel like.
He's the hero.
he's
Washington's the hero.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
then
one.
who was the other one? Thomas Jefferson. He can be the friend. I feel like he was
I
just
would-
a friend of.
I mean, he's loyal is a question, but
Isn't
like,
he on money?
yeah.
They all are.
Are they?
No, not all of them.
Teddy is not on money.
I
is
got to
he?
fact check.
What
I don't
the
think
hell did Teddy do?
Teddy was like a naturalist, but he,
He was
also
like an
was.
adventurer.
Yeah.
You're saying naturalist from Bridgerton. Isn't that guy a naturalist?
Yeah, he is.
We got
Conservationist.
Bridgerton on the brain.
Yeah, I think definitely Washington is the hero.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lincoln is the rebel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, is
I would
Teddy an ambitious? Jefferson is an
I think
ambitious queen.
I would say
Monticello.
Manifest destiny. I think Jefferson's the ambitious queen.
Yeah.
And Teddy is the loyal friend because he
There we go.
he speaks softly and carry a big stick. I think was what he was quoted as saying.
I think that was good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That
Okay.
is
I
fun.
just had to know.
Yeah.
I can't believe we were able to do that. Actually,
I know it's not a perfect comp, but we did well with that. I think.
Everyone
Yeah.
can fit into these categories.
Right. If you twist and
Honestly.
contort enough, absolutely.
Well, congratulations to all of our Mount Rushmore of teen TV characters. Your faces will always be carved into our minds now.
Yes.
Where would our Mount Rushmore of these characters be?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
I love it.
Yeah.
Somewhere with a body of water.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll Photoshop
Yeah.
all of their faces onto Mount Rushmore in Wilmington.
Yeah,
North
we should
Carolina.
print one out.
It's like a sand castle.
Yes. Oh, yes. We'll hire someone to sculpt it on the beach for us.
Yeah, and then everyone can go take their families to see this monument. But in the meantime, just check out our photoshopped photo on Instagram.
Yeah.
Claire, tell them where they can find us.
All right. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us, rate and review us, give us those 5 stars. You can also see that photoshopped photo on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube on previously on _teen TV. Thanks for listening.